I'm sure you have tried all sorts of creams to reduce different aspects of aging in your face, but I'm here to tell you about an amazing new invention. It is called retrocausality quantum cream, and I tried it, and I went from this to this in less than a second. Well, that would be nice, wouldn't it? But unfortunately, we can't go back and change the past quite so easily. But the one thing about time is we may not be able to go back and change the past, but the past is constantly influencing our present and our future. You see, from a very early age, and particularly childhood, we are conditioned, we are programmed through various events. What your dad said to you, what your mom said to you, what happened at school, this traumatic incident, that incident. We are programmed. It shapes the way we think of ourselves, and more importantly, it shapes the things we do even decades later. So we can't go back and change the past, but can we change the past's influence on our present and our future? I believe we can. And my experience in this goes back to my clinical practice, and one of the most challenging but satisfying cases I had was a woman from the northeast of the United States who came to me. She had experienced very severe multiple traumas as a child and even as a teenager. And she had what now would be called severe dissociative disorder, but you know it as multiple personality disorder. And yes, that is a real thing. What happens when you experience very traumatic events is they are so painful to relive, so damaging to remember, that we create alter egos, separate parts of consciousness that are the secret keepers. They have the memories of those events, and they don't share them with anyone, including you. Now, what I found with this lady who had numerous, not just one, numerous alter egos, was that each of the alter egos had some very specific characteristics: tone of voice, physical symptoms. For example, one alter ego always had a migraine. And a couple of times this lady would come to my office and say, "Dr. Rankin, I got a terrible migraine. I almost didn't come today. I've had it for a few days. I can't get rid of it." I said, "Okay." We did some hypnosis. I removed that personality, that subpersonality, that person, that alter ego, and removed it, got her back into consciousness, and she would say, "Oh my God, what did you do? The migraine's gone." Incredible, incredible stuff. Unbelievable. And over a number of years, we peeled back the layers of the traumatic onion, so there was no longer need for a secret keeper because there were no more secrets. And she went on to live an amazing, productive life. Now, what's this got to do with functional alcoholism? Here's the point. We are conditioned from the things that influence us. They don't have to be traumas. We are conditioned from the things that influence us, that shape us in many different ways. It is clear the mind-body has a mechanism to do this. And so it may not just be in severe trauma. It may be that we are programming ourselves, or are programmed without even realizing it, from past events to our sense of ourselves, and maybe different psychological states. And this challenges somewhat the conventional theory of personality and personality styles. I like to think of this, I call it programmed persona theory, where we are programmed to have specific thoughts, feelings, energy patterns. That's a program. That then leads to particular behaviors. So you have a sub-personality, not as powerful as an alter ego, but a sub-personality that consists of this programming from the past. And we have to hack that to change the behavior. Now, what is interesting as you break down the neuropsychology of habits is actually what happens is there are neurons in the brain that make predictions about what's going to happen next, actually all the time, every millisecond. If you are walking, the brain is making predictions where your foot should land, where how your body shape should be, and all of that. And if it's not right, then an alarm goes off and it tries to change that. But the same with drinking. If you are a habitual drinker and you smell alcohol or you see your favorite alcohol, your brain is going to make the prediction. There's a 98% chance we're going to drink. So get ready. And get ready to drink means not only give you the idea, but physically prepare you for drinking. And this happens in milliseconds, which is why so many habits, including drinking, are automatic. You may be aware of what you're doing, but you're not in control of it. You're aware, but you're not in control of it. And so we need to hack that subpersonality that is driving drinking behavior. We need to hack it. How do you do that? Well, you try to change some of the programming. For example, low energy might be a part of that subpersonality. So actually going out and moving and exercising and raising your energy might actually hack the program. Putting yourself in some situations and resisting temptation are really critical because that reduces the probability of a prediction that you're going to drink. So there are a number of techniques that I can introduce to you that hack the programming of that subpersonality. And so it gets to the point over time, this does not happen instantly, over time, where you go from a 99% chance prediction of drinking, if there's alcohol in front of you, down to about a 50% chance. And at 50%, it's not as impulsive, it's not as quick, and it gives your consciousness a chance to take control, not just be aware of what's going on, but control it. And so it is important to understand this because in some ways there's a lot of, or at least some cultural mythology about changing a habit that doesn't fit with actually what is happening neurologically. Okay. It's not, okay, well, I'm going to choose to stop and that's it and I'll be fine. It's not that easy unless you have total control over your environment. It's not that easy. It's a journey. And one of the problems with changing a habit is people very often have misleading expectations. And that you see that all the time. Oh, lose 10 pounds in a week. Actually, you do not want to lose 10 pounds in a week. You do not want to lose 50 pounds in a month because the science tells us that is not sustainable. And not only will you regain that weight, you'll gain more. It's a relatively slow process, but it's possible and it works. So that's what I'm here today to tell you about. We can't go back and change the past, but we can change the influence the past has on us today. We can change that. We can hack that programming that was subconscious. We didn't know that was happening to us, but now we do. And now we can change it. And that's why I'm here, to help you do just that.